Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. Make sure you press the like button and subscribe if you like digital assets, and comment down below what country you're watching this video from. Now, the first article of the day comes from Ripple, but we're actually going to be talking about tons of different crypto subjects today. I have a ton of information to show you guys, so make sure, and really I'm requesting you guys, make sure to watch this video all the way till the end. There's so much to be thought here. So first off here, Ripple's Untapped Potential. XRP Ledger as a decentralized exchange, and of course the whole situation about the stablecoins. So most likely you have seen once or twice on Twitter David Schwartz talking about stablecoins or even a potential decentralized exchange, and maybe you vaguely heard something here and there, but let me give you a little bit more info on the situation. So first, fixed value tokens. While announcing the introduction of the new feature to allow the changes, David said that the XRP ledger will be available for third parties who want to launch fixed value tokens. In essence, this means that the ledger will be used to run mainly stable coins, although he chanced to add that asset-backed tokens may also be included. And this is that whole gold thing that people have been talking about often, that they can be pegged outside of XRP, and some various things I've heard a lot about. I actually saw a tweet just now before making this video, so definitely quite relevant. Notably, Ripple isn't the first entity to venture in such development. Tether, of course, has also developed a system that runs on various networks simultaneously. And if you actually want to know more about that, Tether, for example, runs on Ethereum, runs on Tron, and you all have different sorts of Tether. You could just look up Tether Tron, for example, and you'll see a little bit of an explanation on all of that. Each network supports a particular stablecoin. However, the Ripple CTO, again David Schwartz, clarified that as for the XRP ledger, the tokens hosted on the network will be required to have a guarantee of the liquidity of the assets backing them. That's pretty damn cool if you read it like that. And then XRP Ledger as a DX, or decentralized exchange. Over the years and over the course of its build-up, Ripple has sought to develop many new use cases, especially since the network seems to have a lot of untapped potentials. According to the CTO, the developer team of the earlier days developed algorithms that allowed them to deploy various functionalities, making the network more like a decentralized exchange. In fact, the network's capability to allow other digital assets to run on its chains was developed way back in 2012, and we actually are hearing more and more about this last part as we are moving forward here, but still, I think a lot of questions were open and remained, but I think this little introduction here has already cleared up, I think, 80% of the smoke that people might have had on it, because you now have an idea of what was going on around these subjects. Now, leaving that a little bit in the dark, I'm not giving you guys the full rundown, but most that you need to know at this point. We're going to move over into XRP and what some people are predicting. One person here actually predicts that the price is going to fall, shorter term bearish, and that's really the most of what I've seen right now. Most analysts are predicting a little bit more bearish right now, and there's not too much to add to there. If you want me to go over the whole analysis, comment it down below. I'm not really interested in doing that. You can really quickly pause it if you want to read further. Just wanted to give you guys the basic rundown. Bearish is what most people are, and there's literally 4, I think, or 3 or 4 articles that were exactly the same, so I just gave you guys the rundown of what I found. Now, let's move over into some really interesting crypto stuff, guys. So again, make sure you press the like button if you like digital assets, subscribe to, again, show the support for the channel, and make sure you keep watching. Warning: Warren Buffett says to avoid this asset in 2020. I actually was really amazed when I saw this first, when I read it, because really, what could Warren be saying, right? What could he be talking about? And this was actually in one of the crypto parts of my resource of where I find news sometimes. It was in the crypto section, so I thought this could definitely be quite interesting. It was also a top story. Towards the end of 2019, I'd suggested that investors should avoid Bitcoin in favor of gold. That was that was quite an interesting approach, right? Because funny enough, this is what most people have been saying about. Most have been saying about exactly this scenario. But now I saw a couple of articles saying exactly this. Gold and silver prices plummet. Where's the safe haven? And I noticed now that the last couple of weeks, or maybe like week, I've seen a lot more debate popping up in comparison to a couple of months ago when really gold was still the thing. But alright, the cryptocurrency surge had elevated blockchain-linked stocks that have since struggled mightily in the recent months. Bitcoin enthusiasts come in different forms, while its fiercest decorators often sing a similar tune. Warren Buffett is revered for his investment chops, which he has exercised to accumulate a net worth of like $85 billion. And this past week, Buffett came out as a vehement Bitcoin and cryptocurrency skeptic. Now, funny enough, I think Warren Buffett finally had his date sort of with what's his name again? Justin's son. But it seems, at least up till now, that there is not much of a change going on just quite yet. At least I have not seen him change his mind on the whole situation about crypto and whatnot. But Buffett burns Bitcoin. He's been doing that for a very long time. He vowed that he would never own the currency, and he said it was rat poison squared. It should not have any value. Crypto basically has no value, and it's something that he's often said. I actually kind of wished and maybe even expected him to change his mind now that gold is not doing as good and that he had the date with Justin's son, but really don't think he's ever planning on changing it all. And also, I'm not even gonna bother too much. However, billionaire investor Chamath Palihapitiya has also disagreed with Warren Buffett's take on the digital currencies. Palihapitiya has been an advocate of investors holding at least 1% of their assets in Bitcoin specifically. However, he clarified his defense of Bitcoin, saying that it has made no sense to buy it in response to the current bout of volatility. I think a reasonable strategy is to say 1% of my net worth should be in something completely uncorrelated to the world and how the world works, he said. It's an interesting approach to it all, but still, some are skeptics of it all, some are not. We'll see. I guess we'll see. By the way, I just noticed this. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos recently warned investors that Amazon will be disrupted one day and eventually will go bankrupt. That's interesting. Jeff Bezos dumping $1 billion worth of stock every year. Whatever, guys. We don't care about Jeff Bezos too much right now. This is a crypto podcast, crypto video. Not too much about traditional stocks. So, Bitcoin prepares for $7,500 as next stop while exchange's BTC balance continues surging. Analysts are split this week between Bitcoin's trajectory, with some arguing that investors should be prepared for a downward slump towards 7,500 and others speculating that a healthy rally is on the cards. This whole article makes no further significance, I would say. Nobody really knows. You can update yourself with what people are thinking every single day and all the time, but still, we're just all speculating. It's different speculations against others, and some are really positive, some are really negative, but this is really the rundown about it all. Analysts are really split. Then again, is the article that I just told you guys about. Gold and silver are plummeting, so where's the safe haven? And one could argue that it's gold still holding up as a safe haven. Some will argue that it's Bitcoin who's taking over right now. Some will again debuckle or kind of be against it. I don't know how to say that. Reject that thesis or theory. And it's just kind of a never-ending cycle of people really bashing the next person and the next person again. And there's no good answer to the whole question. Bitcoin price falls $1,400 in 1 week. Is the bear market back? Again, another good question. When do you consider something a bear market? When do we think all hope is lost? When are all when is it really bad? When do we call it a bear market again? Is the bear market even over? Was it ever over? Did we turn to a bullish market again? Was it really confirmed? Or all that is really kind of important. What I just recommend everybody do is just focus on accumulation right? Just think about longer term things. Don't mind the shorter term too much. And this is a good question though, like, is the bear market bad? Because that's gonna determine whether we're gonna buy down lower or not. But I don't have the answer for you, right? It looks like we might go lower just because of the hysteria that's out there. And if you're really interested in exactly that, either I need to make a whole dedicated video or just read through this article by Michael van de Poppe. I think it's a Dutch guy then, because it's a good one. It's actually a good explanation, and it will give you guys a little bit of insights on the whole situation. I'll link it on Twitter, I think. So make sure you check my Twitter out, guys. It's TheDustTBC. Link is in the description below. Stellar invests $715,000 XLM in a blue chip stock tokenizing platform targeting emerging markets. The Stellar Development Foundation, SDF, announced on February 26th that its enterprise fund will make an investment of $715,000 in XLM tokens towards DSTOQ. This decentralized project based on the Stellar blockchain focuses on the tokenization of blue chip stocks. DSTOQ's strategy is to make big stocks like Google and Apple available to any investor who wishes to purchase them globally. So that actually to me sounds really quite amazing. The firm is optimistic that this approach to stock investments will give them a good leverage to tap into emerging markets. So definitely would agree with them completely. It's really amazing. The investment made by the foundation marks a big milestone for DSTOQ, as it is the first project to receive financial support from the foundation's enterprise fund. Stellar's executive director and CEO, Danelle Dixon, through a video on Twitter, noted that the DST approach in scaling financial services is close to what they have in mind. Quote, DSTOQ's sharp focus on cross-border investing and their unique approach to helping people in emerging markets to gain access to investment opportunities abroad speaks directly to our mission at SDF. I think it's a very good incentive, very good idea, and I like how it's a Liechtenstein domiciled company. I like Liechtenstein a lot. So yeah. Hackers send cryptocurrency exchange offline with DDoS attack. OKX and Bitfinex were hit by similar attacks in 24 hours. No major harm done, most likely. It seems like a real attack, though. Like, one day ago already. Pretty interesting, pretty crazy. Nothing much to say on that. Most likely was down a little bit. I don't think money was lost or anything like that. But, yeah, I will tell you guys again, get yourself a hardware wallet. A link is in the description below. Ledger, make sure you buy yourself one. Make sure you do that. Now, below here you can see Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the bot on this website, says Steven Seagal to pay $330,000 settlement for promoting a Bitcoin scam. I actually had another article talking about exactly this. Steven Seagal hit with £240,000 fine for cryptocurrency promotion scheme. I thought it was kind of funny to mention really quickly. He promoted an ICO when the SEC also or already came out with the guidelines that as to saying you should really declare how much you get paid if you want to promote an ICO and things like that. And he got punished now with a hefty fine. Really hefty fine. It's $330,000 that he has to pay now. But in the greater perspective, he got $1 million for it. I don't even know exactly how that works, but he got $1 million to promote that ICO. $1 million, like what? Right? If I'm not mistaken, he failed to disclose payments of $250,000 in cash and $750,000 to promote the company on his social media accounts. $1 million? What? That's a lot of money right there. And so from that perspective, the fine is not even bad. I think they could have even upped the fine there even. I mean, unless you have to pay the money back and then the fine on top. But if you didn't, I don't think that fine is even fair. Anyway, if you read the story, you'll notice it's a little bit of a strange situation. He got labeled the Zen Master, and then he also called himself sort of Zen Master Steven Seagal has become the brand ambassador of Bitcoin. I don't want to pronounce that actually even, but it's a little bit of a weird situation. I really don't know if he got paid $1 million and he only had to pay $314,000, because that's a good deal for him then. he made a very good business decision to do that. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Litecoin Foundation partnering with Mekon Cash on e-commerce ATM access. I think ATMs are really a big deal, right? I actually think that ATMs are really what's gonna bring Bitcoin and general crypto a lot more mainstream attention than a lot of other things will. Reason for that is, if I think about cashing out right now, right, it's actually pretty difficult to do if you kind of want to be on the low end and want it quickly. For example, Coinbase is going to run you quite a lot of time. Bittrex even is going to take maybe a couple of days, for example, to really be on your bank account. And every exchange so has its little cons. If Bitcoin or so ATMs, for example, or even XRP, even Litecoin, can do it instantly, and charge a 5% fee, for example, which is relatively high, but you get it. I think it could add a lot of people who are kind of stuck with holding their currencies to more utilize it more frequently. I think also those cards, like the Visa cards and whatnot, have kind of the same purpose. But again, I think people like the anonymity, and I think Bitcoin ATMs are a good idea, unless you have to also, do the know your customer things, the KYC stuff. Then it might not be smart. But hey. Microsoft Edge introduces feature to block potentially unwanted applications like adware and crypto miners. The unwanted apps slow down a device and may lead to a degraded Windows experience. So they're most likely popping this into their Microsoft Edge, which is really quite good. Really, really quite good. Crypto miners are not as big of a issue as it was a couple years ago. But still, yeah, it's very bad if you have it. It's just going to slow your computer down. You won't notice, but it's going to be there. And that they're helping with this, Microsoft Edge is taking an active look at it, also means that this whole crypto thing is becoming a little bit bigger. It's good to see. Wilshire Phoenix responds to SEC's Bitcoin ETF decision. Not going to get too far into this, just the rundown. Another Bitcoin ETF application, another SEC denial. Another example of the U.S. regulatory regime stifling innovation? Well, Wilshire Phoenix responded yesterday to the SEC's decision this week, which denied approval for their Bitcoin ETF application. Their criticism falls in line with the SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce's dissent with the SEC's denial of several ETF applications. It's been going on. This has been going on for a very long time. I don't even have to tell you guys that approval of ETFs is pretty difficult. But then last but not least, ETH Sub 7 posted on Twitter, I was asked to deliver a message. Do not pay any attention to price, charts, graphs, patterns, or indicators. Keep accumulating while you still can. Stay away from trading hype. Again, keep accumulating, i.e. when XRP reaches $100, traders will be placing $130, $150 buy orders. So, I think the message is nice up till this point. So if you guys are only listening and not watching, up to the point where it says, i.e. when XRP reaches $100, yada, yada, yada. I personally would really recommend against accumulating until $100. I would really, really recommend against it, because you're going to most likely lose out on a lot of money, and you're most likely going to not get the results you want. Honestly speaking, guys, that's how I do on the channel. Give you guys my complete, honest opinion. No BSing. And there's no cuts in these videos, so all I'm saying here is just fresh out the mind and whatever. And in this case, I think it's a good idea to really let yourself loose from a little bit of the TA in certain times when you're not trying to short, right? Or in this case, not trying to actively trade. Maybe sometimes it's a good idea to just take a little bit of a relaxed stance upon it and not worry yourself too much with it. On the other hand, though, I would really, 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 really tell people or encourage people to think smartly about their decisions. And hopefully you've been watching my videos for a little while, because I've also explained to you that it's good to have an exit strategy, and I really think you should have one in order to really profit the most out of any scenario. And for example, a little bit of my exit strategy is most likely buy until at least $1. Just keep buying XRP. Just make sure my average price is low, but get at least up to $1. Just keep buying, and most likely, depending on the market, a little bit onwards. Depends on that. But I'll definitely start selling a little bit at $2.50 this time around. And if another bull run like that were to come, maybe a couple hundred XRP, something like that, just to make sure we at least reap some profits off of such a crazy market. I would most likely do that. And then, of course, as we move further, at maybe like $3 would sell a little bit more, maybe $4 sell a little bit more, because that means all-time high. And then from that point on, I'm gonna really watch quite well with what I do, but definitely sell bits and pieces here and there to make sure I secure the bag, secure profit. I would always recommend you guys to hold through for further gains, but as any popular analyst, popular trader will tell you, it's never smart to just hold everything through, as you'll most likely lose out on a lot of money if you miss the top. And it's really difficult to find the top, guys. It's really difficult. And I don't want you guys to lose all your money because you were too afraid to sell. And there were too many people, even I, that did not sell enough at the peak of the bull run. Again, because everybody expects the price to continue forever. You don't know when it's going to switch over. Same with economic patterns all the time. You don't know when the next recession is going to hit. People think that the economy this time around will be able to last longer than the previous time, or to last forever even sometimes. People don't know. And same goes for when the prices go flourishly well or really bad. People don't know when it's going to turn around. You really don't. Not up front. In hindsight, you'll be able to see. And that's why I'll keep telling you, sell little pieces as we go up. Don't wait for $100, and really just don't expect these prices to occur anytime soon, just to be sure. Right? They may happen. They're really possible in terms of market cap, but don't count your odds too much for this to happen anytime within the next month or so, just to make sure that you don't hurt yourself in that sense mentally. But hey, that was my view upon it. If you don't agree, make sure you let me know in the comment section. I just want to be honest with everybody that's being, irrational or whatever, not thinking straight. Make sure you sell on your way up. I would most likely not sell at $1 yet. I would think I'd start at maybe $2.50, $2.50, maybe $2. But I would definitely buy my way up to $1.50 because it's all worth it, as long as my average price is fine still. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press the like button, because I really appreciate all the support you guys give to me. Really loving it. And also make sure, guys, that you subscribe to the channel and comment down below what country you're watching from. And also don't forget to check me out on Twitter, the DDoS. Take care, everybody, and have a very nice day.